Well, welcome back to the channel, guys. Big Dog Brett. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about a top 10 list, what actually makes sense, what we've seen so far, and where I think Georgia fits in all of that. We'll see it here in just a minute, right after this. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Georgia had a pretty abysmal game against Missouri. Managed to come from behind, kind of in the last moments there, and start getting the offense lined up. Defense made some great stops, kept us in the game. Their field goal kicker is phenomenal, so hats off to that young man. But that was not a number one team in the nation performance. There are a lot of people that believe Georgia still has a lot of talent on that team. Just got to get some stuff ironed out, and the AP poll reflects that. This just came out, I think, maybe a couple hours ago, but Alabama jumped Georgia, and they should. Alabama has looked. Now, Alabama had a tight game against Texas, but it looks, like they got everything ironed out. They go out, they beat a ranked Arkansas team. Sam Pittman, a very physical football team, came out, looked dominant. Bryce Young gets injured. That doesn't seem to slow him down at all. And then, the backup guy comes in. Can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but from what I saw, he looked pretty good. Not Bryce Young good, but still looked pretty good. Nice to know that you guys have a backup in the wings there that can play at a moment's notice. So hats off to that young man. So looking at Georgia had its struggles. Already made a video about that. You guys go check that out. Ohio State. Depending on the AP gives Alabama, I think the points were 1523 to 1521, and then a drop down to 1488 and then 1348. And you got Clemson right here at number 5. The coaches and the AP poll pretty much line up all the way down to the number 15 or 16 spot, and then it's kind of a little bit of a musical chairs after that point, but they're very, very similar. Alabama number 1, Georgia 2, Ohio State number 3, Michigan number 4, Clemson number 5, USC number 6, Oklahoma State number 7, and Tennessee bumped up from the number 10 spot, I think, to the number 8 spot from week 4. I think they had a bye week last week. Then Ole Miss at number 9. Ole Miss beating Kentucky bumped them up inside the top 10. Hats off to them. And Penn State at number 10. I do want to talk about a couple of things here. Michigan, Clemson. I think Oklahoma State might or could be above USC. That's just kind of a matter of public opinion. The Tigers The Tigers have been a really, I'll say, solid football team so far. A big win over Georgia Tech. It's just their first ACC in a game of the year, and it's their season opener. Beat Furman by 23 points. They beat La Tech by 28. A 6-point win over Wake Forest, which I think was right at the end of the game there. And then NC State. This 30-10. A lot of people had NC State pegged to win this game. I thought this could have been a win for North Carolina State. They win it at the half. It was 10-13, so a close game. And then Clemson starts to pull away. This was a pretty close game. At one point, if NC State could have done a little bit better, they could have won this game. But Clemson, even though the scoreboard doesn't reflect it, looked pretty dominant on the field. Both teams had 20 first downs apiece. Clemson had a little more, bigger piece of the pie as far as the clock went, but it was the turnovers that really kind of hurt NC State. So this was a long, painful football game to watch. But yeah, Clemson beating North Carolina State. That's what we expected, but it was closer than it was closer on the scoreboard than it reflected on the field. So you got to give credit to Clemson. Wolverines coming out. Man, they've looked really good all year. Iowa's got a really solid defense. They still put up 27 points. I'm a little concerned that they allowed Iowa to score 14 points. Iowa does not have a great offense, in my opinion, but they did okay. So hats off to those guys. Ohio State, though, it's really kind of Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State. Ohio State's looked really good all season. They really haven't had a struggle game. Rutgers not a great team. Wisconsin's okay. Toledo's a no name. Arkansas State's a no name, and Notre Dame is, I don't even think, ranked in the top 25 at this point. They beat them 21-10. But Ohio State, their offense is kind of firing on all cylinders, and their defense is starting to catch up too. They don't really play anybody good on their season until they get to Michigan. We'll find out more then. Penn State, you can make some arguments for Penn State, but Penn State, they are 5-0, but Penn State hadn't played anybody either, so it's hard to tell. Now, Penn State plays Michigan this coming up weekend, so we'll know more then. But I fully expect Michigan to fold up Penn State. Now, there are quite a few teams at this point in the season that are 5-0. All in the top 6 are 5-0. Everybody in the top 10 is undefeated. A couple of those teams are 4-0. But as the season progresses on, we're going to know more and more. But I think it's pretty accurate right now. I'm a little bit curious about that Tennessee Ole Miss 9-10, 8-9 kind of thing. I think Ole Miss looked really good. They really put up a fight against Kentucky, and that's what it was. It was a fight. It was a 22-19 game. The Vols have had good offense, but they struggled over Florida. I think Ole Miss might be able to take down Tennessee just because they play better defense, but we'll see what happens. So, and well, that's pretty much it for my top 10, guys. I really appreciate you being here. Once again, we're trying to get to 6,000, so don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.